If you're careful in your cuts and take your time, you'll cut square. Not that I always cut square, but that's an example of one of the times that I did. I'll take it. So now what I have, this is like a 1x2. It's they're gonna be rails. These two are gonna be rails, and what I have to do is I have to match these up together. So I'm gonna do that right there. Put that on here because my bench is not flat, right? It's outside in the weather. Besides, it's wood, it moves. This I just got done flattening before I cut it down and all of that. So I'm pretty confident it hasn't had a lot of time to move yet. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna put it in this vise. I probably didn't even need to mark it like that. I'm just gonna put it in this vise and make it match. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this down to the same level, and then I'm going to make a couple of passes on each with this plane set very, very light. The reason for that is that no sanding that I will ever do to this surface can make it as smooth as this plane will. These are what the sliding tills will ride on. So I want them to be as smooth as I can get them. And that should be gorgeous. I'm going to tighten that up. Hold my, and I'm gonna do this because I think that I might be against the grain. They're really smooth, but I'm getting some tear out or some roughness there. So let's yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. One more pass. Two. And that's gorgeous. And they are silky smooth. The plane, the tills should ride on that really well. But what I want to do now is I want to make sure they're exactly even with each other. This side and the other side, the exact same thickness, all of that, because I'm going to put a spacer on either side to get these at the proper height. And I want it to be, I want each side to be absolutely perfect. All right, they should match one another absolutely perfectly, but I want to mark the tops that I want the rails to, the tills to slide on. All right. Now I am running 3 screws in here because this is about 3/4 of an inch and this is about 3/4 of an inch. So that would be 1.5 inches. If I had 1.25 inch screws, I'd put it in here, but I don't. All I have is 1-inch screws. And so I'm gonna run 3 of them. It doesn't matter. It will be plenty to hold the trays in. I don't want to put glue on it because if something were to happen later on and I wanted to change the configuration of this box, then I would want to be able to remove these. So, all right. But I'm just gonna, if I can stop my hand from shaking long enough to, I'm gonna sink that down in there just a bit so that they're sort of flush. Okay, so that's that one. I'll do the other side the same way. And you notice it's not quite long enough. It doesn't matter. The rails will ride on that little bit of air. They should, without any issues. And I'm doing this like one screw at a time because this shouldn't do it, but if I screw one end on this end and one end on the other, it might do one of these numbers. If I screw one at a time from here to here to here, the board should flatten out with no stress or issues. That's the reason. Quit. Go away. All right. I'm just trying to reduce any kind of stress that might be naturally occurring in this wood. As I'm putting it together. That ain't the one, silly. I ain't the one. Boom. That one there, that don't matter anymore. Right, for the second tray, I'm going to have to cut one to the proper height, and then I'm going to have to book match it or cut it in half down the middle. What I'm going to do, what I am doing, I'm cutting very close to my line. I'm trying to cut closer and closer to the line and become more and more accurate at doing that. So relaxed hand. Simple, full strokes, as full as you can manage. and I'm not in a hurry. I'm not doing high production numbers. It's a single project. Nobody's selling anything. Nobody's doing anything like that. I do this because I love it. And you saw me drop my hand. I'm trying to leave a track for me to follow when I flip this board, because I'm going to have to here in a minute. Alright. What I meant by that, you see I have it marked here, square. And I've made a line. You see how close I am to the line. I've made a line to here to follow with, so that I can, when I put it in a vise like this, I can use this cut line and this squared line across the face of the edge when you start a saw. You want to pick the weight up off the tip of it. That's why they're hard to do. That's why your hand is the way that it is. You're not gripping the whole thing without. If I want to lift the weight off the toe of the saw, I'm going to squeeze with this finger and this finger, so that I can make a smooth start. And I'm going to follow my already established curve. When I begin to make my cut, I'm going to listen. And that is with the grain. That is a little bit off, so what I'm going to do, it's a bit high on this side. Move the plane all the way over so this edge, the side that's the lowest, is riding on the low side, and most of the plane is over here on the high side. I'm just going to take like 3 passes, and then I'm going to go to the center. See what that does. Because I want this as square as I can get it. That's beautiful. Because it's going to lay on top of that rail that we already have. So now what I need to do, I've already got it set up. Let me get this piece out of the dirt first, because this will mark the board so that I can resaw it. and I'm gonna push this fence up against the board. The pin will cut. Just keep that fence up against that board. Up against that face. I actually want to get one of the wheel marking gauges and try it. These work, but honestly, I think the wheel marking gauge would probably work better. That's just my feeling. I know these are more traditional and all of that. And so now what we have are two lines, and I'm going to attempt to saw between those two lines. I'm going to go on this corner. I'm going to start on this corner. So that I can see both of my lines, just like, sort of like cutting a tenon. A tenon saw would probably be better for this, but I don't have a tall enough tenon saw that would make any difference. I'm going to come this way now that I have. That turf will guide this saw. Make sure you can see that line. Not to damage that. Whatever adjustments you need to make. And All right, I had to chop these screws down. They're 1-inch screws, and they're just not, they're too long. So they will come out of the other side if I don't. And I'm just kind of starting, hopefully the wood won't split. That would stink, but it is going to be what it's going to be because I don't really have I don't even know if I could find like 3/4 inch screws instead of 1-inch screws, honestly. I might have to come back with a countersink if I can find my countersink and countersink that, because these aren't grabbing enough to go flush, and I want them flush so that the drawer will slide. It's all right for now. For now, these will work. Come on, big boy. You know you can. And nothing coming out. Good. And that's pretty solid. All you piece of junk. All right. Go on, I don't want to hurt you. Get jumping spider. I love a jumping spider. We're not going to hurt them if we can help it. They're not going to hurt anything. You piece of junk. Get on there. Love it. Shout out to Gunny. He knows who he is. Appreciate this drill. My drill crapped out, and I needed one. He knew I needed one, and he offered it. I turned it down once. I was like, I'm going to fix that one. He said, well, two's better than one. And he's absolutely right. And so I took him up on his offer, and I'm thankful that he helped me out. So that is the trays. The bottom tray will slide on that, and the top tray will slide on these rails. Let me see. Where's my tape? Yeah. That'll give me an inch to play with on work.